I hate missing.
All right,
I
so
hate missing wine parties.
just to let everybody know, we are recording the call. That way, those who can't make it on the call, they could still hear Janine's presentation later. Okay. But anyways, good morning, everyone. Let's go to get started. I'm going to try to share my screen here so we have the PowerPoint present. And of course, now I can't find my PowerPoint. All right, here we go. Let me try to share it. Here. Okay. You guys see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And hopefully this works out okay. Alrighty, cool. So welcome to Centers of Influence. This is our Seal Beach Chamber of Commerce Mastermind group. We do this every week, except for the third week of the month where we actually do Let's Do Lunch, and that becomes our Centers of Influence on that day. So before we start, do me a favor, go and put your company name, your name, and your contact info in the chat box, so that way we could share it with everyone. And remember, the fortune is always in the follow-up. So, you know, whoever you meet here online, whether if you met them before or not, it's always good at least once a week to reach out to them and to, you know, see if there's any business there for you or if there's anything you could do to help them. Okay. A couple of announcements coming up. Tonight we have Mara Feinberg's from Feinberg Financial Management. She's got her 1-year anniversary. So we're doing what we call a blue ribbon cutting. If you guys are familiar with red ribbon cuttings, the blue ribbon cutting is for anniversary. So she's doing a mixer tonight from 5:30 to 7 o'clock over at 3020 Old Ranch Parkway. If you're not familiar with that, it's over by Spaghettini's over the freeway. Just make a left at the first stoplight off of Seal Beach Boulevard. Tomorrow morning, man, we got a lot of things going on. Tomorrow morning, we got Chamber Networking Breakfast over at O'Malley's at 7:45. So let's, tomorrow we have 2 things going on. We have if you're a business on Main Street, or if you do business a lot on Main Street, then Rob Janke and the mayor and also SBPD Chief Michael Henderson is going to be speaking and getting your opinions about parking. So they want to hear, they're going to do about a 10-minute thing tomorrow. And then we're going to, ambassadors with George, we're going to do a really cool marketing networking exercise tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. And then tomorrow night, the Seal Beach Historic Resources, it has an open house. They're doing an exhibit premiere at the Seal Beach City Hall from 4:30 to 6 p.m. If you guys know Deb Matchin, she's the president of the Seal Beach Historic Resources Foundation. She also used to be the president of the chamber, so definitely go out there and support her. And then next week, we're not doing the Centers of Influence because we're going to do Let's Do Lunch at Finbar's. If you're going to have lunch anyways, you might as well have it with us and network. Okay, so make sure you're there as well. All right, so introductions. So let's do this. We're going to start with Jim Better. Give us your company name, your full name, and your job title, and also how long you've been a chamber member. Go, Jim.
Okay, Jim Better. Wait a minute, I just put that in the chat. Let me read it. My company name is Essential Plans of Insurance, and I've been in the chamber I've been in California for 4 years. I've been a member of the chamber for 4.5 years.
Fantastic. And you're also an ambassador, right?
And I am a supreme ambassador.
Yeah. And as much as I've tried to get you on the board, you still don't want to. Dang it. All right, Art, go ahead.
So I'm Art Remne. I'm here representing the Los Alamitos Cypress Seal Beach Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce. Slap my face. Rotary Club. I'm thinking chamber, but anyway, Rotary Club. And I've been in the neighborhood forever. And what else do I have to go on with that?
How long you been a chamber member?
The club's been a chamber member for 10 years, maybe better.
Awesome. Cool. Brandy, go ahead.
Sorry. Hi, Brandy. I am the admin here in the office, and I have been here this is my 3rd month.
And getting a boatload of stuff thrown at you, aren't you?
And if we can just stop here.
Yes, I am.
we got to give Brandy a round of applause.
Yeah,
she's doing
definitely.
a great job.
All right, Janine.
Janine Shedlock, Beach City Realty. I have been in business here in Old Towns for almost 2 years now and a chamber member for a year and a half. We do real estate as well as property management.
Awesome. And
I'm an ambassador this year
ambassador, that's right.
and proud to be one.
Great job.
Been trying to twist her arm as well to be on the board, but oh well. We'll have to twist more arms. And then George.
George Banker, Seal Beach Living Magazine. Been a chamber member for a year and a half or two on this go around.
Yeah, and you were a chamber member before that too, right?
Yeah, from 2006 to 2012.
Fantastic. And I was able to twist his arm and got him on the board, which is great,
Thank you.
And then George is also our ambassador chair, so he's been doing a great job with that. And I'm Junie Benico. I'm with Swell Insurance Solutions, located right here above Chase Bank for maybe only the next month or two, and then we're going to go virtual after that, unfortunately. I'm an insurance broker, and we've been a chamber member since 2014. So, all righty. So let's do this. Let's start with our most recent successes. We're a small group, so share as many as you can. What has been your successes for the last week? It could be big or small. It could be business, non-business. Maybe there's a person you've been trying to call for the longest time. You probably got a hold of them. But what are some of your successes that are going to drive you and help you focus for the next week? Let's start with Jim Better.
Okay. The old expression, and I think Dolly Parton was the first one I heard use it, was the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
I work hard at networking, and I've never met a cocktail party I didn't love, and go to as many meetings as I can and network people and show my brand and talk about why I think that people need to pay attention to what their later life is going to look like. And out of the blue, I get 3 referrals in the last week from people who have never met at a cocktail party, or maybe met them once in person. But they referred 3 very good prospects. In fact, I just finished up writing an application on a 71-year-old woman this morning.
Wow.
Who was able to plunk down $400,000 on a long-term care policy.
Wow.
And that is, that wasn't on the radar 2 weeks ago.
And how did you get that referral?
Well, it was just networking. And it was somebody I met in a networking party up in Fullerton. Is that right? Yeah, in Fullerton.
Awesome.
Who somebody said, "Hey, you got to go meet this woman." And so I met her and arranged to meet her again in her office some months later. And she referred a friend of hers who is quite wealthy, and all of a sudden decided she needed to have a long-term care policy.
Cool.
And that again, that if you follow the stream of connections that result in positive business, sometimes it's a tangled web, and how you get there.
Exactly. You never know where it's going to come from, right?
Yeah.
But it's all too like the stuff that you've been doing too. It fell on your lap not because of luck, but because you got there. So.
Yeah. Well, it's that expression. You get lucky when you work hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's luck is labor under careful knowledge, right? So. Janine, what are your successes for the week?
So I'm kind of like Jim. I like to network a lot. I do my best.
No way.
In person.
Shock.
But I haven't been as good at getting to realtor meetings. And realtor meetings, you can think, okay, so I'm a realtor. I'm going to go to meetings and I'm going to see other realtors. What can I possibly obtain from that? But I actually went to a meeting this past week where I was able to find an off-market property that is a fixer-upper for one of my investors.
Okay.
Which they absolutely love, to make a cash offer. I also made a new real estate partner. She's in the home warranty business, and she's going to help us with some first-time home buyer education seminars we're going to be doing. Additionally, we are going to be a whole sponsor next week at a golf tournament. I love to play golf. but I've kind of come to the realization that, you play golf with a foursome, you're only meeting 3 other people. So I decided to sponsor a hole so I can meet all 144 players.
Smart.
And gets better. I was thinking, well, what do golfers like when they're in a golf tournament? They want to have beer, they want to have snacks. And the tournament coordinator actually called me and said, hey, would you like to serve donated beer? And I was like, that's a blessing. Because now everybody has to talk to me.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm gonna give them real estate books no matter whether or not they want them. But and I don't have to pay for the beer.
It's donated beer. That's even better.
I was like,
So,
this is a win-win.
well,
So
cool. Well, good
yeah,
luck on that.
you gotta get
Yeah.
yourselves out there.
Yeah.
Good for you, Janine.
And forgive me because I only had my my participants bar open to like the first 5 people or 4 people. So Natalie and Nikki, I am so sorry that I didn't see you on there. I'm gonna call on you and you guys could do the first part. But let's go to Art because I think Art has some successes too, real quick.
It did. The Rotary Club had a really successful wine and dine on Saturday.
That's right.
We raised
Love it.
about 12 grand for local charities.
Wow.
So that was a win. The charities we support will definitely be pleased with that. And personally, I've been reaching out to people and talking about how they can plug the leaks in their business so they can make more revenue, and that's been being well received. So I'm very pleased with that.
Very cool. Good job. Nikki, introduce yourself, company name, your name, how long you've been a chamber member, and tell us about your successes for the week.
Awesome, thank you. Nikki Albright, I am with AFLAP, and I've been a chamber member since the beginning of last year, and currently on the board, so happy about that. Successes in the last week, so I have a personal thing that I did that was kind of interesting, and then a business thing. So
right.
I know Junie knows about my personal thing, which I met her through Junie. She's not part of the Seal Beach Chamber, but through our paddle group. I did a trapeze thing on Sunday and flew trapeze. And no, I'm not going to join the circus, but my arms have been so sore for the last 3 days, and that was a lot of fun. Got out of my comfort zone for that. But as far as business successes, so I did stop by the State Farm office. I think it's right next to you, Janine.
Yeah.
Over here, and
awesome.
made an appointment with Eric for next week. So
That's awesome.
yep. So that, and then I had a really good week business wise last week. Almost wrote 10,000 on AP. So
awesome deal. Good
Yep.
deal. Good job.
thank you.
Natalie, introduce yourself, your company, how long you've been a chamber member, and tell us about your successes for the week.
Hi, everybody. Great to see you. I'm Natalie Wilson. I'm the owner of Zydeco Design, brand strategy and marketing communications, focusing on content strategy. So working on that with some clients for the upcoming year. Janine, just so you know, if you're interested in golf and play golf, I'm the market leader for Women on Course for Orange County. We're a national organization, but my group leads a group of about 200-300 women at 15 courses around Orange County.
Wow.
A nice opportunity for networking if you enjoy golf.
Natalie, I actually belong to Women on Course.
Well, I haven't met you on the market leader.
I know. I'm like, how? Yep. I've been going to Karen's.
At Pelican.
Yes.
Pelican's
did,
beautiful place. Come
I
to our
golfed with-
last scramble on October 30th. I'm going to be in costume.
Oh my
It's
God,
in
how
San
fun.
Juan Hills. It's a Monday.
Okay, yeah, that's a
That
Monday.
sounds like fun.
Mhm,
Oh,
it
we'll
is.
definitely
It's a
have
lot
to
of
talk
fun.
when I see you. Nice to meet you, Natalie.
Nice
That's
to
so
meet
funny.
you. I'm glad you're having a good experience there. Karen taught me how to golf. I'm not good, so I'm not that kind of thing, but she's wonderful.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So successes for me, I'm on the board of Women's Shelter of Long Beach, and we had our gala on the Queen Mary on Sunday, and
Oh,
we
wow.
raised $220,000 for the crisis center and ongoing programming, going to middle schools and talking about healthy relationships, things of that nature. So we're very excited about that. And I'm also doing some work with the Lee Pirtle Ballet Company that's out in La Cañada, so a little outside of our area, but they're doing a new Nutcracker with a Celtic theme.
Oh, man.
And I've just sent out emails to 11 area nonprofits offering each 20 free tickets to come see and share in the excitement of a new fun, newfangled ballet. And I'm getting really good response from veterans groups and Brave Trails, all kinds of organizations that are deserving and need some new holiday cheer. So that's what I'm up to right now.
Awesome
Wow.
deal. Cool
Good for you,
deal.
Natalie.
George
Awesome.
Banker, successes.
Oh.
I know you had a success last night. That was great.
Yeah, that party, my mixer was great. I guess I'm calling it a party now, but, yeah, that was our 5th one. And so we have a monthly one. If you want to mark your calendar, it's November 9th from the next one. And the buzz around those are just kind of building and building. And a lot of people are kind of coming out, a lot of readers, kind of a different mix of people you wouldn't normally meet at the chamber. So there's a lot of people from different walks of life, and you guys are always invited to that. It will be November 9th. So that was a super good success. I don't know, over the course of the night, I'd say we had at least 70 people kind of come through. So people come, some stay for a while, some stay all night. You know, we were still there at the end, and there was, 25 people hanging around. It was supposed to end at 7, and that was, 8 o'clock. So it's been pretty fun and good networking and getting really good feedback on that. And then I did have a success inside of that. I actually had somebody stop by for about 5 minutes and said, I've kind of been watching you. It was a kind of a follow-up from last week, but they said, send me the contract tonight and I will sign it. I sent it to them last night, right when I got home, and they signed it. And it was one of my biggest deals yet in the magazine. So that was awesome.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was super cool. So they're going to sponsor the calendar of events section going forward, at least for the next 12 months. So that was an awesome win for me.
Good deal.
Nice.
Good deal. Yeah, it's and Coast Pizza was a great place. Really good pizza last night. So
Yeah, they're awesome.
it was really good. Well, good job. Success for me. I attended a Hartford training certification class back in 2016, and I always stay in touch with people. But one of the people I met there, her dad owns a pretty big a commercial agency that focuses on a lot of Asian businesses. So out of the blue, I haven't talked to her in 2 years, and she called me yesterday and said, "Hey, look, we have a pretty big project that we need to do, and we need to co-broker it with you guys." So she was out, and so she called. We're looking at co-brokering some workers' comp and general liability for about 30 stores. They're like these boba tea shops. And they're pretty popular around California. But it looks like we're going to be quoting on 30 of those stores. And then she didn't know that we also do 12 other states. So looks like we're going to also touch the other 11 stores that are throughout the United States. And it's a pretty big tea shop that's been going throughout. So that's been kind of nice because, from time to time, I'll just shoot her an email, just to say hi. And it was kind of nice that she called me out of the blue. So that's been
Good for you.
a pretty good success for me.
Awesome.
Randy, successes in the chamber. What you got? Are you on the phone?
And she had to leave.
Oh, she had to leave. Okay. All right. Oh, she did. Thank you. All right. So along with successes, we also have our challenges. So let's start with Janine. What are your current challenges? What are you struggling with? What is it?
My big challenge is always time management, which is why that's my presentation today, because being a real estate broker and also doing property management, I am constantly being pulled from one direction to the other nonstop.
Yep.
So that's always my biggest. The other one is obviously getting good help.
That's always a challenge. Exactly.
Recruiting, right?
Yeah. Everyone wants to work from home now.
Which is okay with me because I kind of like being alone in my office. It's really
Yeah.
not much, big enough for much more than that.
Awesome. Time management. Nikki, challenges.
Yeah, same as last week. We talked about this. So it's just making sure that I'm getting everything done, and then also throwing in, like, we have all those administrative things, and then following up with the clients that need help with claims, but then also managing my time to where I'm not just doing that stuff, but also growing my business too. So, and so I got, like I said, I stopped by that State Farm office, and that's not the only one I've, potential client I've talked to, but so that's that as well. Just making sure when I put that time in my calendar that I'm going to do those things, that I actually do it. and not be busy doing the things that aren't important. We call it in our organization, we call it green time, yellow time, and red time.
Mm.
So doing those red time things during nighttime, that the green time things are during the day when it's kind of growing your business. So I need to make sure I'm not mixing those up. So
Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Thank you. Art, what's your challenges?
Getting to enough people, because it's a numbers game to some extent, and so getting to enough people so that they can say yeah, if they're in or out, right? And it's just cycling enough people and doing the work and keeping the volunteer stuff going and all that other stuff. So it's kind of time management, but it's more of just balancing and getting to enough networking events.
When you say giving to enough people, giving of your time, what exactly are you looking to give, or are you meaning trying to reach out to more people?
Reaching out to more people.
Okay, all right, it's interesting. Do you guys do any automation, like email automation through?
All the time. I mean, that's one of the systems that I put in place for folks. So in this case, it's not actually Cobbler's kids not having shoes, but it's definitely a challenge getting the right types of lists and getting the right type of people to email.
Gotcha. Okay. George, what are your
Um,
challenges?
Yeah, I guess I kind of maybe finding some new people. I mean, I know I do a lot of networking, and a lot of times it's people I know. So just my contact list is so huge that sometimes I need to do more to go out and find new leads. So if it's cold calling or some other method, I'm at a lot of stuff, but a lot of times it's kind of meeting the same or networking with the same people. So need to try and always be bringing in new people. I'm pretty good at it overall, but that's just something I need to work on all the time. So, there's new blood coming in and new people around that could potentially be a sponsor or introduce you to somebody else.
And I'm sure you're one of those people that ask for referrals and ask other people for people that they know, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I try and do that. And, if there's anyone or, in my text, sometimes it'll do you know anybody else, even if you're not interested. So I'm trying to do that and, not be too pushy, but also let them know that I'm out there.
Exactly. All right. Natalie, what are your challenges?
Let's see. I'm trying to focus my efforts as we're moving into the new year, because right now with my nonprofit clients, it's harvest season, the end of the year with all of the galas and events and big apps. So in the meantime, I need to be working with my B2B and B2C clients, making sure I'm trying to identify, I think, as Art is saying, marketing directors who are looking to rebrand or reposition or are needing help as they are moving into the next year. There are still a lot of issues, as I say, in the content strategy world, but finding them and engaging with them in meaningful conversation, the next step sort of thing is always a challenge, but something I'm looking forward to for next year.
Awesome. Jim, what are your challenges?
All right, well, it's rather benign for this group, but my back office back in Massachusetts, I've got 4 people who have been with me for 25 years or more. And my oldest employee, who's been with me for 32 years, has decided she's going to retire. And so now it's a matter, okay, do we just divvy up her workload? Do we hire somebody else?
Yeah.
So we're in constant conversation, daily Zoom calls about what to do about Susan's departure. She's given us 3 months, so we've got plenty of time to find a replacement if that's what we want to do.
That's 32 years of knowledge, man. That's
I know.
a lot to replace.
My vote is, okay, we're going to take her salary, we're going to distribute all you guys, and you pick up her work. And I'm getting some positive feedback on that idea.
Yeah, might have to do that, right?
And then bring in somebody at a low level to pick up some of the grunt work that's that will relieve the senior people from having to do that.
Yeah. So my challenge is focusing on my target market, because I get we do personal and commercial here, and I really just want to focus on commercial. But at the same time, I'm on commission only, like everybody else that owns a business. I don't own the business, but I'm still on commission only. So whenever I get something, I want to, I want to close it. So the challenge is trying to, figure out, the challenge for me is letting go of the smaller clients, and it's always hard, it's like, but they're also not time killers, but I just know if I spend more time on that, it takes time away from the bigger clients I want to go after, that I know I really want. So that's just been my challenge, is letting go of the smaller fish and passing it on to somebody else in our office, and really focusing on the bigger ticket items that I want. So, all righty.
Did you say that Swell Insurance was going virtual?
Well, we are, and then that's the other challenge. It's just we're in a space right now where there's 3 people, and we have about 3,500 square feet here upstairs with 3 people in it. Everybody else is like, my boss, my business, our office manager, one of our account reps. They live in Tennessee now, and then we have other agents throughout the United States that are all virtual. This was our main office, but so we're trying to look for office space in Seal Beach, but like for instance, we found something on 320 Main, right above it, 1,300 square feet for $4,000 a month, which is almost what we're paying here, So, yeah. So Janine, if you know of any spaces available, we'd love to hear about it, So for now, we'll probably go virtual for the next month and a half or 2 months, until we can find space again nearby, So, yeah. So that's also one of the challenges, because I really don't want to work at home, 7 days or 5 days a week, So I'd like to go in the office and work somewhere else. So, because once I leave here, it's not about work any longer. It's about I leave it at the office as much as I can, So, but yeah. So if anybody knows of any office space that's not $4,000 a month, we'd like to hear about it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's without the cam fees. There were cam fees on top of that. So, but oh well. Anyone got some solutions to some of the things that anybody heard? Time management, I know, is one of them, and Janine's going to talk about that later. But do you guys have any solutions for, like, what people are going through? Let them know. All right, what are your wants and needs? So, Natalie, tell us about what your wants and needs are. Go.
My wants and my needs.
Yeah.
Let's see. Want time, need time.
Me time.
Let's see. I want to be able to put together a really nice proposal for someone within this next month. I'd like to be able to do that. And I need to know what it is, what their goals are, to be able to build and craft something around that. Because usually I'll help with client. Well, as I say, somebody who's looking to reposition, someone who's needing, it depends. Large organizations, sometimes it's mission, vision, values type work that helps them figure out where they're going. Sometimes they've acquired a new piece of business and they're needing to branch off, but usually it's a smaller client who's now starting to work, compete against bigger guys. And they want to look more corporate, that sort of thing. They want to clean it up. Like quite often it's engineers or somebody who's created a new product or service, but they're not marketing inclined. So they've done it pulling up their bootstraps and it's been great. And now they want to make it more refined and polished and
have a little more direction
in their marketing, more direction and efficiency, because sometimes it's all over the place. So that kind of thing. So that's, I guess, more of a want than a need. Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps.
All right.
What's holding you back?
I'm just trying to get through these current deliverables right now for my nonprofit clients. So that, and also, as Junie well knows, Los Alamitos Show Choir. I was at bingo for 3 hours last night, helping out with the bingo program.
Those
So
darn kids.
again, back to time. Want time, need time.
Yeah.
But he's a
Oh,
senior. It's going to be
all
over
right.
soon.
You're a Los Al booster parent. I understand. I was
Yes,
there
I
one time.
am.
You know?
It'll
Jim,
fly.
what are your wants and needs? Other than a new employee, Jim, what are your wants and needs?
Oh, I'd like to some speaking engagements.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I'd like, whether they're church groups or civic groups or, there's a lot of opportunities for to be able to speak in front of a crowd. That Judy, you may be aware of the state of California coming out with a payroll tax
Yep.
for long-term care. It's not a law yet, and I don't think it's going to be a law next year, but it's coming. And there's going to be a lot of interest in that. And I'd like to become known as an expert in that field and to be able to do that with public speaking engagements.
We could make that happen. We could probably do a Zoom call for you. Last week we did a Zoom call on the ADA compliance for the internet. We could definitely do a Zoom call for you and do one with the chamber. We start there. How about that?
Good. Okay, I'm done.
All
See you
right,
guys
so
later.
Let's email me and we'll talk about it. Janine, what are your wants and needs?
Oh, well, I'm in real estate, so I always want buyers and sellers. But
Do you focus on an area? Like, are you specifically just beach properties or,
so I've always been all over Southern California, and I'm really trying to dial in more local to Seal Beach, Huntington Beach, Rossmore communities, College Park West and East, and even Long Beach, Belmont Shores. So we're trying to stay a little bit closer to home because I'm just tired of being all over the place. And
yeah.
property management is always plentiful, and I'm always all over. I've got a new listing in Temple City. I've got a new listing in Rancho Cucamonga. I mean, I'm always Laguna Niguel. I'm just everywhere.
Oh, man.
So we are trying to dial it in more local, which is hard because I have a lot of repeat business and customers and things. But for a more immediate request, which all of you can help with, is I do have a buyer for our wonderful community of Seal Beach, and that includes Rossmore, maybe even Los Alamitos, College Park, West or East. They just bought a boat, so they live out in Yorba Linda, and they want to be closer to their boat. So we're looking on the hill. I think either College Park, West or East is good for them. They don't want to spend more than 2 million. So, Old Town on the beach isn't going to work.
Nope.
I think the house across the street from us is on the market
Oh,
right
is
now.
is it?
Single story.
And they want a single story. They want 2,000 square feet.
And we're on Catalina on the hill.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out. I mean, they're on, I've got them on an MLS drip, but if anybody knows of something before it hits the market, that might be even better.
Cool.
But that, and then of course I have investors that want to buy apartment buildings and commercial property. So there's always that. If you know anybody, we love the referrals, and we do like to pay referral fees to our partners, and whatever that may be, or allowable by law. But we're often open to that.
Cool. George, what are your wants and needs?
Kind of the same thing. I'm looking for a few specific categories, a lot of service industries, whether it's like a roofer, I don't know, maybe lawn care, still looking for a dentist, a physical therapist. So just a few categories we don't have in the magazine, which obviously that's a pretty long list if you look what we have in there. But so kind of that's what I need. And then just I think that's it. I mean, just getting new clients and just, I'm taking the slow approach. So it's not a big rush, and just trying to make sure we do it right and have a good magazine. And, hopefully when they come along, if I can get an intro to, decision makers at the specific companies, that's helpful than somebody saying, hey, just go over here to my dentist. And, but, nobody knows a name, or nobody, knows who to go to, because, it's hard, it's just like a kind of a cold call in that scenario. I do throw the names around, oh, so-and-so told me to come over here or mentioned you, but, it'd be helpful if you kind of knew the right person, like, who makes the decision at the company.
Yeah. And one of the things we need to do is get everyone in our membership to complete their directory online, so that way you could just simply go online and look for who the realtors are. And but not everyone has completed their directory. So something we're definitely gonna introduce people to. So
Yeah, because they're not getting the full benefit
yeah,
of
if they're not
being a
they're
member if
yeah.
they're, because I go in there all the time. I'll go, and so far I've picked up, I've been giving business to Dr. Pest because he's a new member of
Yep.
ours. My chiropractor, Beachside or whatever he is over here, the chiropractor, he's awesome. I mean, I always go to the chamber website first when I'm
Yeah.
looking for somebody to do business with,
Yeah.
because that's a great place to start, and that's
Yep.
how we can, get business back working with each other.
Correct. Exactly. And we just got to
And
get
cell
people to
phone
fill that out.
numbers.
Yeah. Get those on there. Nikki, what are your wants and needs?
I basically just want people to give me an opportunity to share with them what I do, whether that
Okay.
be individuals or small businesses. I do work with businesses for 3 employees and on up. My biggest account has over 3,000. So I think, and part of that is just me doing the fortune and the follow-up, but wanting to just maybe be more connected with everybody and be more on top of that. As far as
Okay.
needs, just again, needing somebody to listen and grow my business. So pretty
Cool.
simple.
Art, what are your wants and needs? Oh, did we go over your wants and needs already?
Not yet.
No. Go ahead.
Wants and needs is to partner with more people
Okay.
to kind of segment. Well, segment's probably a bad word. To bring in some synergies and work together to how I can serve their clients and they can serve mine.
Okay.
So more of the networking of partners as opposed to networking directly individual businesses.
Natalie, what are your wants and needs? Did we go over your
Yes.
wants and needs already? No?
Yes, we did.
Oh, we did. I'm
And
sorry. Okay.
Art and I have been exchanging information in the
Awesome.
background because we might be able to help support each other.
Good.
As
Good.
things stand.
Well, for me, my wants and needs, I need more paddling time. So I haven't been able to get out and paddle this week, which kind of sucks. But my wants, I'm really focused, like in the last few weeks, on workers' comp. So workers' compensation for a small business or usually 5 more employees. I do also work with a lot of contractors. So if they need workers' comp, please send them my way. And if anyone has just questions about their home insurance or their auto insurance, because I know that's kind of a big thing right now in California. We're in a really hard market for that. A lot of realtors have been coming to me asking me why it's been hard to get home insurance. There's a lot of carriers that have left the
state.
Yeah. So if anybody has questions about that, send them my way. I'd be more than happy to answer it, even if they're not looking to get a new quote. Okay. And real quick, Brandy, any wants and needs on your end?
Just the same training. I'm training on financials this week, so I'm excited to be able to explain those. I just want to get to know everybody better, so I know all the businesses and names. So I'm excited for breakfast to do that.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. All right, we're going to skip on shout outs and recommendations real quick because I'd really like to move on to Janine. Janine's going to talk to us a little bit today about our greatest pet peeve, time management. So for those of you who don't know Janine is the owner and broker of Beach City Realty right here in Seal Beach. She's right behind O'Malley's. So we know where she's at every happy hour. But but Janine is also an amazing networker. I was at a table with her during Shop, Eat, Play, and I tell you, she could talk to anybody that walks by the street
homeless
and
people.
probably get them to buy a home. So the floor is yours, Janine, and if you have a PowerPoint presentation or anything like that, you can go ahead and share it. Okay.
Okay, so how do I share my
I'm going to stop sharing real quick.
Oh, and then I have to start,
and you can
right?
go ahead and share. Yeah.
Oh, recording.
That's okay.
Okay, I fixed it. All right, wait, I have done this before. Okay,
Just hit the share screen. And then you're going to choose what screen number if you have multiple screens. or
I
what
know,
flyer?
why am I not seeing share? Oh, don't ask. Okay. Share screen. Share. And then I'll figure this out eventually.
There you go.
There you
Looks
go. And
like
then
you
just
got
hit
it.
play from start or slideshow.
Doggone it. There we go.
There you go.
Got it. Okay. So thank you guys. And it's so funny because, and here listening to everybody talk, I mean, time management is always an issue for everybody. Because we're constantly answering our phones, just everything. So time management. What is time? Time is a resource that cannot be increased. Obviously, we know that, right? Time cannot be saved for future. We wish we could save it. Each activity requires a minimum of quantum of time, and time has a value like currency. So what is time management? It's managing ourselves in relation to time. It is setting priorities and proper utilization of time to achieve maximum quality output. Time management pitfalls. And I think we all fall into these things. The phone's constantly ringing, especially for me in real estate. And actually most of you, when your phone rings, you want to answer it because you know that if you don't answer that call, that person is potentially going to call somebody else to do business with. So it's really difficult not to answer your calls. It's really difficult for me doing property management to not answer text messages when they happen, because a lot of times it's a vendor or a tenant or something that's actually happening right now that needs my attention. Emails are constant. There's so many emails. Walk-ins, some of us might experience people just walking into our offices. And then, of course, there's the last minute changes and activities and all the things that we add into our schedules, such as chamber events or Seal Beach living events. We try to get out there and do as many things as we can. And sometimes it's last minute when we find out about them. So how to manage your time better. I think pretty much everybody on here has already talked about prioritizing. I really like what Nikki said about red, green, and yellow. On here, I've got prioritizing your activities for the day, extremely important, important, unimportant. But I like that red, green, yellow. That really, you can really apply that color code system to make it work for you. Making realistic lists of things to do and following it daily, weekly, monthly. Most business owners already have a business plan. So you've got a plan annually. You should update it quarterly. Same thing goes for your to-do lists and what you're going to do every single day. One of the most important things I've found is time blocking. I don't know if any of you do time blocking, but I've found that that's incredibly resourceful, because if you time block, like, your time to do accounting or administrative work, or you time block your time to go out and get new business, it's really helpful to time block. That's a number one, thing to do. Never take on more than necessary. We all have a volunteer heart, obviously, because we're all involved in different things where we volunteer. So we have to learn how to say no sometimes. Sometimes Junie will be like, hey, who wants to do this? And I try not to jump at stuff if I know I've already got a full plate. I try only to commit to things that I know I can follow through on. Analyze yourself and operate within your strengths. I think that, Jim, you're talking about having issues with staffing. And I think it was also somebody else. Oh, Junie, actually, you were talking about letting go. So understanding your strengths, you're a great relationship person. So you need to get out there and get the bigger business that you want. And you need to take that smaller business and delegate that to somebody else who maybe isn't as strong as you from a commercial standpoint, or maybe they're learning, but you've got to delegate those activities to somebody else so that you can focus on what your strengths are. And maybe that other person can handle the smaller tasks and complete those tasks a little bit better anyway. Jamming up your day full of activities. I don't know about everybody else, but I have a habit. I don't like downtime. So I have a habit when I'm out in the field, it's appointment after appointment after appointment, which is really not good because then I end up sometimes being late for appointments. Can't fit anything else into that schedule, or I overschedule myself. So don't jam your day full of activities. Using a planner. Nowadays with the iPhone, you can set alerts, set your schedule, Outlook. Some people still like to manually keep a daily planner and write everything down. And then, of course, most important is balancing work, family, paddling, whatever it might be, golfing, social activities, spiritual activities. I know for me, I can get really caught up in work, and forget to actually schedule private time to go to the gym, time to just go sit on the beach and meditate. So that should also be part of our scheduling when we're doing our time management, is our personal time and making sure that it's part of that time blocking. Some successful tips for time management: having self-discipline, believing in teamwork. If you've got a team, that's awesome. I know Junie likes to delegate a lot to the Seal Beach Chamber members and the ambassadors, which is perfect. You've got a lot of people that are ready, willing, and able to help. Teamwork's awesome. Teamwork makes the dream work. A couple of tips that I was given a while back was limiting reading emails. Limit reading your text messages. So it's real easy. We're so attached to our phones these days that, I mean, it's just nonstop. So it really is helpful if you try to limit reading your emails to 3 times a day, first thing in the morning, maybe middle of the day before lunch, and then again before you leave for the day. But another tip that was given to me that makes a lot of sense is don't read your emails unless you can respond. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm really famous for constantly checking stuff because, again, I do property management and realtors are a dime a dozen. So if I'm not available to respond when my client needs something, or a new client needs something, or a new client is like, hey, can you help me? I could lose that business. But at the same time, we have to be able to take care of our current clients and currently what's in front of us. So trying to limit how many times a day you check your emails and checking them only when you can respond. Same thing with calls. If you constantly answer your phone when it rings, you'll never accomplish anything else through the day. So time blocking of when you're going to return voicemails is very helpful. Prioritizing text messages, business and personal, and being able to limit your text messages during the business hours, especially personal. I know it's hard. Another thing is to eliminate activities that are unnecessary to your success. Focus on things that are going to bring you the success and help you accomplish the goals that you need to. So for instance, for me, it's all about the money. I mean, well, Junie, even you said you're commission-based. I'm commission-based. So if we're not out there making new contacts and generating new leads, that's our number one priority, because if we don't keep the money flowing, there isn't going to be a need to do the rest of it. So being able to eliminate unnecessary activities and delegate to other people. Being punctual. Postponement of planned events is an avoidable bad habit. That's that thing that you put on your to-do list, and then every day it seems to get passed on to the next list for one reason or another. You never get to it. I've got a few of those. I don't know who's a morning person. I'm not really a morning person. I like to get in the office. On a good day, I'll get in at 8 a.m. But 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. is so quiet. You can accomplish so much during those hours if you can, because the phones don't ring, the text messages don't start, the emails don't even start, right? It's just a really good quiet time to take care of the busy work. And with that, time is life. Don't waste it. And if anybody else has any other tips they would like to add?
Social
was-
media is a huge time waster too. But
Oh,
I,
totally.
yeah, I mean, I also, but I do, it's so weird because I communicate, like, we have so many different forms of communication here at the office, whether it's phone, email, we have a text messaging thing that we use called Check It, so we could text directly from our desk. But then, like, my account managers will go, Junie, I can't reach so and so, and I'll do a Facebook Messenger or an Instagram Messenger, and then voila, there they are. They like answer, So
Yeah.
just so Facebook is another one that it's hard because, and uh, and this is what I've got to do. I've just got to turn off my notification buzzer, so that way I don't
Yeah.
hear the text messages. And because when you're talking about, blocking off chunks of time, that's a great idea. It's something I got to do more of, and then, and something I recently learned, which I've been doing more of, is you do the harder things first. I used to
Yeah.
hear, oh, do the easiest things first, but then you always leave the harder things on the back burner, and then it's always on your list, right? So for me, I just list the top 3 things I need to do, and I get those done first, and then everything
Yeah.
else, becomes gravy, right? So, but yeah, social media, man, that's, I gotta turn that off.
Yeah, I don't even have time for social media these days, which
Yeah.
is also a bad thing for me because given my business, I videotape and I take pictures and I videotape and I do a lot of stuff and then I don't even have time to post it. So again, that's time blocking. I need to really schedule some set social media time because that's incredibly important for all of our businesses, really.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't mean social media in a bad way. Like you said, if you're doing the videos, you're posting. I have a meetup group, and I do a lot of stuff through that. And and I do get business through my meetup group. I've met realtors in my meetup group. So, but time blocking, man, that's a great way. I actually put a because you said time blocking, and so there's an audiobook that I've been listening to on iBooks, and been listening to this now for a couple of years, and I always hearing something new. And it's called Essentialism, and I think the hard part for me is that I know that every deal that comes through the door is going, because I have numbers that I have to meet every month. If I don't meet those numbers, I don't get that bonus for that month, right?
Right.
So everything that comes to me, I'm like, I'm looking at it going, okay, that's gonna fill my numbers, right? But at the same time, it's like taking time from the big ones that I need to get, So, but and that's what he talks about in Essentialism, by Greg McKeown. He talks about, really just narrowing down the type of clients you really want to work with,
Mhm.
and in insurance, as Jim would know, there's so many types of, products we can do that it's, in the beginning when I first started doing insurance, I was like, oh, I'm going to do life. I'm going to do, auto, home, workers' comp, all this stuff. And then you could just get, but as you see here, there's 3 insurance guys here, and we all focus on something different, So
Right.
anyway, yeah. So
No,
really
that's
focusing
true.
on it. Yeah.
It's like
And
Lois.
saying no. You said saying no, man. That's tough too, and that's what he talks about in his book, Essentialism. That's how to say no. But anyways, thank you so much, Janine. Any questions for Janine or comments?
The
Anything
one
to
thing,
add?
the one thing you mentioned there about blocking out, don't take phone calls and return phone calls when you're ready. For most of us, any inbound call could be really important.
Mhm.
And what I've learned from a few people is that if you're accessible, then you're going to get the business.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, invitational party or new business from a commercial basis or whatever it may be, being accessible is
It's
in this
huge.
culture is really important. Because it's so easy to say, okay, I'm just not going to look at my phone for 2 hours and I'm going to concentrate on this. But in that 2 hours, it may be a phone call that you're not accessible to that person was. Notwithstanding the fact that half the calls that come through on my cell phone say
Or spam.
potential spam.
Or
Well, I
they're
just
selling us something.
yeah, I
Yeah,
just say
it's
screw them.
crazy.
I'm not taking that call.
I've heard, other salespeople, what they do is they don't take calls. They'll block their time to do,
Mhm.
prospecting, and then they return, their message would be like, oh, thank you, Jim, or thank you for calling me. I, I return my phone calls between this time and this time. Please go ahead and
Yep.
leave a message. If it's rather important, you could speak to my account manager or if they have one, right? And I thought about doing that, about just blocking off time and say from this time to this time, I won't take calls, and then I'll return my calls between 1 and 4 or whatever, so, and leaving my voicemail like that, so, it's almost like training people to do that, right? So, I
Yep.
mean, the one thing I've stopped doing is I've stopped giving my phone number out to my clients. 'Cause I promise you, I get calls on the weekends, so,
Yeah.
so I used to do that all the time, but then like I'm getting calls on the weekends. Hey, Junie, I forgot my to print out my cards, for my auto, and I just got pulled over by the police. Can you send me a copy of my card? Stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
So yeah, so I just give them my direct line at my office now, and if they really need something, to just email our or text our service line, and they can get it that way. But yeah, so yeah, but I mean, time blocking, I guess it all depends on how you want to use it, right? So.
Yep, we're back to working from 4 to 9 a.m.
All right, real quick before I let everybody go, anybody got some shout outs? This is where, for me, shout out to George. I mean, he put together a really good mixer last night. I didn't get there till 6:30, and it was supposed to be over by 7, but I didn't leave until 8, because and I was glad I was there because I got to run into Faith, who just opened up Let's Go Play over here, and I needed to talk to her about a Christmas tree lighting thing. So I was glad I attended, and I got to speak with Lisa for a long time. I met a pickleball champion, I
Pickleball
guess you'd call.
piranhas.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to meet them, and yeah, so it's kind of cool. It was a really good networking event. Great job, George.
Thanks, Junie. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were actually there too. We missed you, Junie. We left at 6 because well, I was hungry, but pizza was too many carbs for me last night. But it was a good crowd, and thank you, George, for doing that, because somebody that was there that I have referred business to has actually referred me to somebody else who potentially we can refer business back and forth. So
Cool.
when we're talking about building relationships and meeting other people's and expanding our sphere of influences, it's events like that that open that opportunity up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Any other shout outs or recommendations?
Just a point, yeah, the diversified DTS had an open house yesterday afternoon, and I wasn't able to go to Georgia's thing because it was doubled up. And but that's quite a facility. They build crash dummies, a bunch, along with a lot of other high tech stuff for spacecraft and airplanes, and it was really quite interesting. There's a lot of office space over there, Junie.
Where's it at?
On Apollo Drive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where that's at. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of office space over there if you want to take a look.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you. I'll let my boss know, and we can definitely look at it. And it's close to AIM, where they have basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. So yeah, so that should be fun there. And it was DTS, was it?
Right.
The one that had mixer, right?
Diversified Technical Services.
Yeah, it's they had an open house.
Yeah, it was on the squeal.
Yeah. I remember we posted it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys. Our hour is up. Thank you for joining us and for being here.
Good
Hopefully
show.
you're inspired, and hopefully we will, if your name is on this list, Brandy, if we could go ahead and print that out and send it to everyone, and then make sure, again, the fortunes and the follow-up. I do want to partner up with everybody here in some capacity. Also, if you, just like Janine did, I'm always looking for people to speak at the end of this, whether it's just small group or not. We do record it so that we could share it with everybody else. And then, so if you have a topic you want to speak on, if you're really good at time management, like Janine is here, George had spoken about his, and I know he's writing notes right now. He's got a CIA list of everybody. I just warn you right now. He keeps tabs on everybody. He's really good at it, and he talked about it in one of our centers of influence, the second one we did. So if you have something you want to talk about, other than just your business, right? We're all good at something. Please let me know, and then I will put you on this call, and we'll put you on the flyer as well. All right. All right.
Right.
Thank you, guys. I
All right,
appreciate
good
you
show.
being on.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Janine.
All right.
Everybody have a great
Thank
week. We'll
you.
see you
Thank
tonight,
you.
probably at Mara's.
Oh yeah, see you tomorrow tonight.
See you Mars.
All
Yeah.
right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Night.
Bye, Brandy.
Bye.
You're doing a good job.